everybody, it's Simon here, and today is August 4th, and on August 7th I'm going to go ahead and take off on the Muir trail. I've been planning this trip for about 8 months or so now, and it's finally here. So before I leave, what I want to do is give everyone a quick rundown of the gear that I'll be taking and what's in my pack, what I'll be wearing, and I hope it helps everybody as much as the gear videos have helped me in preparation for this trip. So with that being said, I'd like to get started here. And the way I'd like to do this gear video is, first of all, I want to go through the clothing that I will be wearing on the trail each day. And that's what you have laid out here in front of you, as well as a few other things that are not in my pack. And then once I've discussed those and gone through those, we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at my pack here, and we'll go ahead and unpack it, and I'll tell you about everything in the pack and what I'm taking with me. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started here. So, first of all, let's start with what I'm wearing right now. So, this here, as you can see, this is a Mammoth Prusik wind jacket. I picked this up. It's about 2.9 ounces. It's a really great investment. And this will pretty much be most of my protection from the elements while I'm out there. I really like this jacket. It's super light. It feels like nothing on. And it really does a good job of keeping in the body heat that your body generates on the trail and keeping us warm and out of the elements for inclement weather and wind. So this is a great thing to have, any type of lightweight wind jacket. I can't recommend it enough. As much as you'll be moving out there and the heat that your body will be generating, there's no need for anything really too much more substantial during the day until you slow down in the evenings and start to cool down. And at that point, then you probably want some warmer layers underneath, some silk, some smart wool products, maybe some Under Armour or something like that, or even a parka or something to keep you warm in the evening hours, either inside or outside of your sleeping bag. So this is a Prusik wind jacket, again, 2.9 ounces, collapsed down to about this big, and it's a really great product. You barely feel it there, and I can stuff it in the outside of my pack for quick access should the wind pick up or any weather. So I'm going to keep this handy. If it's not on me, it'll be in one of my outside pockets. Let's moving from the outside in. On top, what I'll be wearing every day is this t-shirt here, Nike Pro Combat. It's a nice shirt, and it should work for the trip. Good wick away, fast drying. I think it only weighs 3.5 ounces. Very lightweight, and should do the trick for the trip. On my trip, I plan to tackle the trail in 9 days. It's kind of an aggressive pace, but my strategy is to go fast and light. We'll be averaging about 22 miles a day, and with that being said, the less I can carry, the better I'll be. For the bottom layer, I'll first be layered on top of these. These are 3/4 length, just compression shorts. These are cheap from East Bay. No need to get anything really fancy here. So this would be my base layer, and layered on top of that, I'll have a nice, these are just real lightweight A6 running shorts. So that'll be on the bottom, what you see here like this, covered by this on the top. And that'll be my gear. If you see me on the trail, this is what you need to look for. If I'm not in this, I'll be covered in a bright green wind jacket. Moving over to the right here, what I have, let's talk a little bit about my foot system and my foot setup. As my feet will be my most important tool is getting me all the way down the trail in that 22 to 25 miles a day. You got to take care of your feet and keep them clean, dust-free, sweat-free, and minimize the hot spots and blisters and those things, because nothing will end your trail and your trip easier than blisters. As tough as you are, a blister will set you back, slow you down, and it will limit you from completing the miles that you need to. So with that being said, I can't pay enough attention to my feet. The foot system and the sock system that I've decided to go with here is I'm going to have a base layer, and they have these Ingenie Cool Max liners, individual toe socks, and on top of those I will have a second layer and it'll be, I'm going to use the Smart Wool, the PhD Ultralight Cushion. These are both low-cut socks, and I'm going to pair these together. I have 2 pairs, so what I will be doing is I'll be wearing 1 pair in the morning, changing them out, washing and rinsing them in the stream, and changing into my 2nd pair in the afternoon. Swapping socks twice a day to make sure my feet are clean and in fresh socks. While 1 sock set pair dries on the outside of my pack, the other pair will be on. A little extra insurance to make sure nothing gets in my shoes. I've picked up a pair of these Mountain Hardwear running gaiters. They weigh next to nothing, and they're just gonna, again, minimize the amount of times I need to stop and clean out my socks and shoes, minimize the amount of dust and things that are getting into my feet, thus preventing blisters, hot spots, friction, and so on. So there's my foot setup. As far as my shoes that I'll be taking on the trip, I really like these. These are the Cascadia 8, and that's a fairly new pair. Here's the other pair that I've worn in, and I love them to death, and so I went ahead and got another pair, and I can't recommend them enough. There's a Cascadia 9. Again, these are by Brooks. Out the Cascadia 9, but guys out there, I've looked at this Cascadia 9, and it doesn't really do anything for me. I really like the 8 a lot better. I could have purchased the 9, but no need to spend that other $60. You can find these now for about $45 online if you look around. Again, these are the Brooks Cascadia 8, a great shoe. I can't say enough good things about them. They're going to get me from Mono Meadow all the way to Whitney Portal, and I have all the confidence in the world in those shoes, my sock system, and my feet to get me there. So that's what I'll be wearing. There's a few other things here. Let's move on. Let's see. Head protection, sun protection. I'll be wearing a hat. I think something like this. This is a Mountain Hardwear lightweight hat with a removable sunscreen for when I'm up above tree line. It should come in handy, keeping my head cool and minimizing the exposure to sun and those sorts of things, the elements. So that's what you can look for out on the trail. I picked up these. These are great little, these are from Columbia. They're actually they're fishing gloves. They're super lightweight spandex. I think they're like 7/10 of an ounce for the pair. And these got these great little grippy grips on them, and they're SPF 50. So these are going to help me with sun protection and prevent my trekking poles and things like that from wearing into the palm of my hand. Just a little added protection and reinforcement. So these are another great product. These are from Columbia, and again, 7/10 of an ounce. They're barely there, but they're going to really offer me some sun protection when I need it. Again, along the lines of sun protection here, hat, gloves, and next thing I have here, as you can see, I'm wearing short sleeves. So I will be also, if need be, I have these. These are Nathan reflective compression sleeves that are also SPF 50 resistance. If need be, in the morning hours when things are chilly, I can either have these and my t-shirt on, and or layered with that Mammoth Prusik wind jacket you all saw me wearing at the beginning. I like the removable things, and I like to have options, so these are going to work great for me. I'm a fisherman. I love fishing, so I'm really looking forward to doing some fishing out there. This is the pole I'll be taking. It's a one-piece pole. I know some people are collapsible, telescoping, something like that. But this is a one-piece pole. It's very small. It's very lightweight. It weighs maybe about 8 ounces total. I think the reel is another 8 ounces. I could have gone with a lot smaller reel. But honestly, guys, I bought so much stuff for this trip, I just did not want to buy one more thing. And I can get by with this reel. Fishing will be my luxury item. And so I'm kind of not really sweating the weight of this. I'm going to have a great time out there and do some fishing while I'm there. So this is the fishing pole I'll be taking with me. While we're on that note, talking about fishing, let me go ahead then and just open up my pack, and I'll show you. We cannot forget our sport fishing license. Any of you guys fishing out there, don't forget to bring that with you. And you need to be wearing it on your person and have it visible for rangers if they choose to check it with binoculars or the Fish and Game Department. I know they probably won't be out there 200 miles or in the middle of the bush on the John Muir Trail, but I'm not going to run any chances or risks, so that's going to come with me. These are my lures. What I have here is 5 lures, and this lure I'm taking with me is This is what's called my High Sierra Trout Killer. This is a Blue Fox Vibrax spinner. Blue Fox again. These are the best spinners to get for those high mountain trout up in the eastern Sierras. Can't recommend them enough. Without giving away all my secrets, that's my fishing for you guys. Couple more things here that are outside of my pack that we'll go ahead and we'll discuss before we get into my pack and what's in my pack, alright? These here are my trekking poles. I got these carbon fiber trekking poles. These are the Cascade Mountain Tech trekking poles. I purchased these at Costco. Great buy, folks, for carbon fiber trekking poles out there. You know, you could pay $90 to $120 for some of the top end, but honestly, these ones here, yes, maybe they're made in China and they're from Costco. You can't buy them anywhere else, but I've been training with them and using them for the last 6 months, and they're great, and I look forward to using them on the trail. They will also assist in my tarp setup as I'm using a tarp for a shelter, and these will help hold up my tarp. I'm not sure if you've noticed yet, but this clip here and at the end of this trekking pole, what I've done is I've fastened a GoPro tripod harness on there with a bolt and just the tripod harness through the rubber stopper end. This is completely removable, and like this. And what I'm going to be doing is filming on the trail, and so this will be my stick pick pole mount for my GoPro camera as I move on the trail. A very easy, cheap modification and a great idea. Not an original idea, something I found out there on YouTube, and thank you all out there for all your tips, insight, and advice, and things like that. I'd be a lot further and more in the dark without those videos, so thank you guys all there. So again, these are my trekking poles. If you didn't notice here, I also have the hiker's ultimate first aid ingredient, duct tape. I wrapped an adequate supply of duct tape around my handle here, so it's always quick, easy access. I know where it is for blisters, hot spots, repairs on my tent, anything at all that should come up. I should have some duct tape here to cover those things. So I think that is about everything that's not in my pack that I will be wearing or will be fastened to the outside of my pack. These were in my pack in the top shelf here, so that's where they will go return to, and we will revisit them later as I unpack my pack for you guys. Let's make some room here for the rest of my stuff, and we'll get into what's in my pack. So just to let you know, guys, the pack right now as it stands, I weighed it last night, and I'm coming in at about 26 pounds, 6 ounces. So that's pretty good, and I was trying to go light, and that is with food. Again, 26.6 pounds with 4 days of food. That should get me from Mono Meadow to Muir Trail Ranch, and there I will be picking up another 5.5 days of food to finish the hike. And at that point, I think my pack weight's heaviest point when I leave Muir Trail Ranch, maybe around 28, 29 pounds. Hopefully we'll keep it under 30 pounds. So let's go ahead and move on to my pack, and I'll show you what all is in this and what this consists of. First of all, this is the Mountain Laurel Designs Exodus 3200 CI cubic inch pack, and it's a great pack. It's a frameless ultralight pack. The pack itself empty weighs in at just 17 ounces. With the additional lid that I've added to it, the optional lid, that adds another 2 ounces. Again, this is empty with nothing in it. So empty, the pack and the lid with nothing in it, weighs a total of 19 ounces. And we'll talk more about the pack in a second here, but let's go ahead and move on to these things that are attached to the outside of my pack, and we'll break it down here. If you didn't notice, this is a Goal Zero Nomad 7. And this will be powering all my devices while I'm on the trail, charging my phone, charging my batteries for the GoPro, and anything else that we may need battery and energy for as we're out there. Picked this up at Costco for a Father's Day present a couple years ago, and I'm borrowing it from my dad for this trip. They're great to have. There's a couple makers out there that you can go with. They're all really good, and I'd highly recommend it if you have any kind of technology that you want to bring out there on the trail, cameras, phones, and those sorts of things. They do a great job of charging them on the go. So that's the Nomad Gold Zero. Let's continue to move forward through the pack here, and we'll work our way from the outside in. Again, this is the Mountain Laurel Designs pack, and I can't say enough great things about this pack. I trained with it, and I've had it for about 2 or 3 months now during training, and it's been a great pack. I've enjoyed it every time I'm out with it, and it's always comfortable. Feels like nothing's on my back. So next week I've been looking at the weather, and it looks like we're maybe going to have some really wet days on Thursday and Friday, August 8th and 9th, and or 7th and 8th, and possibly the 9th. So I'm prepared for the worst, and I picked up a set of these Frog Togs. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with these. Walmart buy, about $19.95, and a great peace of mind. What am I doing here? I'm pulling this out, and just to show you guys what I've done with these. They don't include any type of drawstring or anything like that with them, and what I went ahead and did is bought the extra large, extra large, I think, because I want to fit these over my clothes and everything else and have plenty of room. However, the pants on the extra large, I think, were at their smallest, maybe a 40-inch waist, a little too big for me. I was swimming in them. So I very quickly and easily added my own drawstring, and this is the drawstring to the pants that I've customized in there, and so this is my own customized one size fits all Frog Togs, and these are a great thing to have. I'm not sure if I'll, gram counters, I'm not sure if I'll keep this bag or not, but it's next to nothing in weight, and it keeps it all in one place. Again, I have these on the outside of my pack just in case a rainstorm or weather comes up fast. I don't have to undo my whole pack to get them out. So those will be in my pack. Again, those are the Frog Tog reindeer, and that's a great buy. I think total weight, they're about 11 ounces for the pants and the jacket. More on the outside of my pack here. We'll move on to the rest of this stuff. This is a Tyvek ground cloth that I'll have underneath my sleep pad. It's a 3x7 foot DuPontious home wrap. I think I picked this up from Z-Packs actually online, small cottage shop, but you can pick this up anywhere. I'm sure some of you guys are knowledgeable about it out there. It's just a real cheap, down and dirty ground cloth that's impervious to the weather and will help protect our sleep pad. So like I was saying, I have this long spoon here for my utensil. This is a Sea to Summit titanium long spoon, and this is what I'll be using to eat my chow from, or with, I should say. So another Real Pure Ultralight. It says never duplicate anything, but my other utensil here is this Light My Fire all-in-one spork knife spoon, and I am going to bring that with my Sea to Summit. I know, bad, but I'm doubling up on something. What else do we have in here? This is just a little bit of reflective 3mm guy line or accessory cord, and I'm going to use this in case I need to bear bag any food that excuse me, wow, any food that won't fit in my pack after Muir Trail Ranch or in my bear bag, my bear vault, I should say. Let's hope I won't need to do that, but it's just some extra cordage for any incidentals or anything else that may come up and I may need tied down. So always good to have a little bit of that. I think it's maybe 16 feet, not too much, but it'll get me by. What else do we have in here? What is this? Well, this is something I've had for years. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with what this is. This is my campfire if I should stumble along a string band or something like that on the trail. This is my Jew's harp or mouth harp, and I'll show you how this thing works just a few times. But so, boredom, So anyways, make some fun noises. It's kind of like a didgeridoo or something like that. Well, it's good, some good trail soundtrack though for sure. So that'll be in there. And so that, and I already showed you guys this. That's my first aid kit. I mean, toiletries, first aid kit. We're gonna put all this stuff back in here. That is everything in my top sack. So that's my top sack for you. Well, as again, I put it in, I'll tell you again what it is. So we have our small pack towel, head net, mosquito net, solo nano mosquito net to hang under my tarp if I should need it. Light my fire sports spoon knife, Sea to Summit long titanium spoon, fishing license, my trout killers, my fishing lures up in here, my Princeton Tech with the red light headlamp for my lighting, my bandanas in case we should run into any smoke or anything. I've told you all about those already. So let's get into the main compartment here. Once I close the lid on this, and we'll get on through this pack here, and I'll show you what makes up my 26 pounds and 6/10 of a pound. What? 26.6. So I think what I was thinking. 26.6 is just over, it's not 6/10 of a pound, it's just over 26.5 pounds. So, that was the outside of my pack, and let's move on to the inside. Right on top here, I have my tarp, and this tarp is a 10 by 10 outdoor equipment supplier, cantilever, square tarp, and I've made my own guy lines for this, and what I've done, I used a little bit of this this green line here. This stuff's great. It's I think it's called the Z wire from Z-Packs, or their Spectra wire. It's 1.3 millimeter. It's stiff. It's rigid. It doesn't stretch at all. It works really great for your guy lines and things like that. It's highly reflective and visible. And let me show you very briefly what I've done with the guy lines here. So I made my own little suspension self-tensioning system here with some surgical tubing, and what I did, I just tied myself a little loop in here and hitched both ends, and what this will do is, as my tarp should give or stretch under weather and wind, this will take up the slack and keep my tarp nice and taut through the weather. Hopefully this should keep me dry. I can pitch a pretty tight tarp with this, and through pretty much all kinds of weather. I may be tested to that next week with the thunderstorms that I hear going on up in the Mammoth Lakes area and up in the mountains up there. Fingers crossed, but if indeed that should come up, my tarp skills will be put to the test, and I welcome the weather. Bring it on. So, like I said, I'm going to unpack this thing, and this is a frameless pack. So, as I start to take it apart, you will see it will just start to lose its structural integrity and rigidity, and by the time I'm done emptying this pack out and showing it to you, it'll be nothing but a lump of fabric in front of you. So it's important how you load your packs here and create yourself. What I've done is I've created my own inflated backrest to support this using my inflated, as you see here, from that angle, that is the top of my Bear canister, and what you see peeking out of here is my Big Agnes Q-Core SL insulated sleep pad that I've inflated slowly and subtly just a little bit to cushion my whole back and protect my back against the hard-sided Bear canister you see here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the Bear canister first, and then we'll start to unpack this pack, and I'll show you everything in here and how it's loaded in here so snugly. And honestly, I tell you, this is the most comfortable load and pack I've carried in a long time. I'm really looking forward to this. When I was training for this hike, I was loading this thing 32 to 38 pounds. It's not recommended for carrying weights between 20 over about 25 pounds, and then it starts to become uncomfortable. And it was still comfortable. Like I said, I barely felt it on my pack, on my back at 32 pounds loaded with all kinds of things. So I'm at 26.6, which is lighter than I ever trained with, which was my intended plan, because unfortunately I was not able to get up to the altitude I would have liked to help myself train for the altitude. So I just went heavier weight and beat myself up as much as I could down here at sea level. So without further ado, there is my bear ball. I'm going with the BV 500. What you're seeing here is about 5 days worth of food. Forgive me, about 4 days worth of food, and I will be picking up another 5 days once I get to Muir Trail Ranch, and maybe we'll be able to fit that in. I'm afraid I may be about a day's worth of food too much, but fingers crossed. There's the bear ball. It fits in there really nice, and the way it does that is, by the way, I've strategically planned and packed my pack here. Along here is an extra empty flask that I intend to put a little Jack Daniels or some whiskey or a little bit of something to keep us warm around the campfire, or most likely there won't be any campfires because we'll be at high altitude for so much of the time, and considering the fire restrictions, just a little sipping whiskey or something after the long day of the trail. What do I have? So right underneath my bear pack you have here, this is my sleeping bag, and as you can see, it's not in the stuff sack or the compression sack, it's just in there loose. And the sleeping bag I'm going with, this is the Mountain Hardwear Phantom 32 long. This is a great bag. I've tested it out several times with very cold weather, wet weather, and I've stayed toasty warm, and it's long enough for my long frame. This pack, this bag comes in at around 1 pound 8 ounces, so it's very light. This down compresses down very nicely and fits right in to all the dead spaces in my pack. So underneath my bear canister, I had my sleeping bag, and then what's in here next? Well, this is my cook set. So let me briefly explain to you what this is. And until just last week, my stove plan was to go with the 3/10 of an ounce, the Fancy Feast stove, and I've had success with that in the past, and it's a great stove. But recently, with the fire dangers and the restrictions going on up in the Sierra Nevadas, we've been forced to go with more standard pressurized gas alcohol stoves. So I went ahead and went out and picked up something I'll show you here in a minute that will work for that. But what we have here, these are the 12 centimeter and 10 centimeter Amusa mugs, Amusa pots. These are a really cheap and lightweight way to go. I think this is just 4 ounces with the Reflectex homemade insulation koozie. I picked these up at Walmart. I think it was $2.97 for the large, and $1, that's large meaning the 12 centimeter, and $1.97 for the smaller brother, the 10 centimeter. And they just so happen they fit, nest perfectly together inside one another with the koozies on. So I'm going to be boiling my water in the 10 centimeter and eating out of the 12 centimeter. This here is just a little tin that I found at a bake shop, a local restaurant store here, and this will work as my lid for boiling my water on either of my pots, and double as anything else I need it to, if it eating out of it or whatnot. So I've seen the lids out there that folks have made online, and I just couldn't justify paying $7 for a lid that I paid $2 for the pot. Doesn't make sense. I couldn't bring myself to it, so I think I paid 97 cents for this and call it good. This here is just a piece of a silicone pot grabber. I just cut a little strip of it, and this is all I'll need if I need to pick up my pots or anything like that as they're hot on the stove. Here is the pressurized gas alcohol stove or I went with, and this is the Optimus Crux Light, and tiny little thing. I think it just weighs like 72 grams, which is just barely there, and this will work for me for my cooking needs, and it'll you know, I won't be jeopardizing catching the forest on fire and keeping all the rangers happy, abiding to the regulations. More along that line, inside here, let's go ahead, let me show you. This is the 10 centimeter Musa mug, the smaller one. So again, this is the one I'll be boiling my water on, and I'll be pouring it into the 12 centimeter to be eating out of. In here, it fits perfectly. Fits right inside the 10 centimeter is my fuel here. And this is, what size is this? I'm not sure. These are the smallest size of this. It fits perfectly right inside there, and it all meshed together. So I like that. I picked up a couple of those, and that's what I'll be using as my fuel. Again, let's see. This is really great. It all fits together really well in here, and I think altogether the whole setup only weighs maybe about 13 ounces, maybe 14 ounces total combined with all of this stuff. So that's pretty hard to beat, and for about this whole thing, maybe about 40 bucks with the alcohol stove. Without the alcohol stove, try $14 or something like that. I think for the Reflectex, the mugs, and the fancy piece for $1 at your grocery store. So there's my cook set, guys. And oh wait, I told you guys I was going to show you the. Let me do that really quick. So the grill setup for the fishing, and what I'll do is that screen I showed you folks. If I can reach it, where is it? Here it is. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, and I can wrap this thing in tin foil, and it'll double as a great skillet, and it'll go right on top of my stove there, and that's plenty big enough to fry up any of those little mountain trout up there. So again, pizza screen on top of the Optimus Crux Light as a little fry pan cooking surface skillet for any fish or anything else like that, where I'm unable to cook them under a regular campfire. So I told you I was going to show you that, and that's that for you. And again, let me say, by putting the sleeping bag or not putting it in the stuff sack, it really allows you to use that sleeping bag to cushion the inside of these, again, these frameless light packs. There's nothing in there, so every sharp angle or bump, you feel it against your back if you're not cushioned properly. So what this does is it allows me to throw these things in here, and I packed my sleeping bag around it, providing a great cushion. So there's my cook set, an extra thing of gas just in case. Here we have, let's talk about these. These are my nighttime clothes. So when I'm not on the trail, I'm not wearing the things that I showed you in the beginning of the video, and I start to lose that body heat that I've generated all day, and the high mountain temperatures start to cool down. I'm going to slip into something a little bit warmer and something to preserve the heat, but at the same time still trying to remain as light as possible, and working on layering. Opposed to the 3/4 tights you saw, I have a pair of full-length spandex nylon stretch tights that I'll slip on if I need to for full-length warmth on the legs down below. And then up top, what we have is, again, all you purists out there who never say double up, this is where I might, and I'm still getting away with it because I've saved so much space on my big 3-tent sleeping bag and pack that I can afford to carry maybe an Under Armour compression warm tight shirt, and then a looser, like something like this. This is a 3/4 zip light merino poly blend long sleeve shirt. So this can fit over a lot of things and provided extra warmth, and so I look forward to putting on both of those items at night. Something a little bit looser, as I was wearing compression gear all day long. It's nice to feel like I could get out of it if I needed to, as far as my shirts and things like that. So that loose merino wool poly blend shirt will be a great option. It's something to look forward to in the evening when I want to stay warm and get out of my sweaty t-shirts and the compression gear I've been wearing all day long. Again, like I said, I'm going to bring, I think, probably both of these as long sleeve tops. This is a more compression gear. This is their Cold Gear Under Armour long sleeve t-shirt, and it works really good for those really, really cold. And if it really came down to it, since this is loose, the gray one here, like I said, is loose, and this one is fitted, I could layer these two on top of each other, giving me the ultimate warmth that I need upstairs. The sleeping bag can keep my lower extremities plenty warm enough also. Again, if it really gets cold, this is all my insulative layers. So what we have here is this is just a nylon runner's skull cap with a little warm insulation. I have this Under Armour balaclava. Again, for hunkering down, I'm not going to be in a tent, so I will just be in a tarp and a little bit more exposed to the elements, similar to a bivy sack. And if it does get cold, I want to make sure my body stays warm. So I could layer all these things you see together, the balaclava, the hat, the layers of long up top. And I also have here a pair of, these are like glove liners that are just polar fleece glove liners that are mittens that'll keep my fingers all together and warm and insulated through the night. I do not want to get cold at night and lose energy, lose body heat, and jeopardize my sleep and rest, my performance the next day because I was freezing all night. That's my one of my main concerns, is being comfortable when I'm not moving, since I'm going to be moving so much of the day. God forbid, when I stop moving, I don't want to be comfortable. Otherwise, I'll probably just pack up and keep on moving. We can turn this 9-day hike into a 5-day hike if I'm cold. I'll just keep moving to stay warm. As you can see, I'm stuffing this in here, not the way I packed it, just to make some room on the table and keep moving here for you guys. So we're getting pretty much through it. The last really big piece of insulation, I guess, or again, like I said, staying warm. This here is a big outdoor research down 600 fill parka, and I'll show this to you very briefly. And this is my last line of defense against the cold, and in a heartbeat, I'll put this on inside my sleeping bag if need be. Otherwise, if other parts. So everybody, I just want to finish up our video here of my gear for the John Muir Trail. We were going through my pack and I was just about emptying it out. So only a few things remain in my pack here. These here are camp sandals, camp shoes, or shoes that I made for myself. They're about an ounce a piece, and they're lighter than anything else I could find. And what these are just something that I can slip into when I get done with my day. I can take off my shoes, let my feet air out, and not worry about stubbing my toe around camp or stepping on anything that may puncture my feet in the afternoon and evening. I know some people take flip-flops or Crocs or something like that. I just fashioned these out of an old closed-cell foam sleep pad I had, traced my foot liner for my shoes, and used a little duct tape and got creative. So these are my camp slippers, and I'll wear these in the mornings and in the evenings. And should I need to get up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom or anything, I can slip these on as opposed to lacing up my shoes and go ahead and get out there and take care of that business without having to worry about stubbing my toe in the middle of the night or stepping on anything that may puncture my feet. So again, these are about 1 ounce, ounce and a half maybe total weight, and these just stuff inside my stuff sack, inside my backpack as well, and they're just kind of some slippers for around the camp. Getting about down to the bottom here, I guess I'll show you right here what this is. This is some leftover Reflectex that I was using from a car windshield reflector that you visor to keep your car cool. I picked this up I think at the 99-cent store, and all those koozies and insulators that you saw for the Amusa mugs, I made those out of this. This was the remaining centerpiece from the windshield. The impression here is for the rear view mirror to go under. It's just a very center cut, and this fits right down along the back of my pack and provides an extra little bit of padding, cushion, and insulation. And it also works, doubles as a great insulated sit pad or anything else I may use it for. So it's very light, and this goes along my back in between my sleep pad that you're going to see now. That's the last thing in my pack, and the outside of my pack. So again, like I was saying, I ditched all my stuff sacks, and I've just put my sleeping bag and my sleep pad in here loose. What I have here, this is my sleep pad. Like I said again, this is a Big Agnes Q-Core SL, and comes in around 17 ounces. It's insulated, so there will be no transfer of cold air between the ground and my body, keeping me warm during the night and holding that heat in. What I've done is it's the mummy shape. I folded it in half once, brought a little bit up, and what I've done is I've kind of custom folded myself a pad or a shape outline to what my pack looks like. And then this is what I slide in first along the back wall of my pack. So my pack, it goes in kind of like this. And I slide this down in my pack when it's empty, and I load my pack with everything on top of this. And this is just maybe partially inflated, like 10% or so. And then once it's in there and I have everything in there, I leave this part at the top, the nozzle, and I can go ahead and if I want to, puff some more air into there and inflate this as needed to fill in all the dead space in my sleeping bag and give me a nice comforting air fit with that bag. So that's the trick there, guys. Ditch the stuff sacks for your sleeping bags and your sleep pads and use them to line and support yourself in your frameless ultralight backpacks. There it is again. This is how I've folded it up, and that's how it will live along the back of my pack. Very quickly I'll show you. So right now this pack, except for the stuff that was in the top, is again nothing. It's just a pile, and very frameless, very lightweight, and but nothing to hold it up. So all the rigidity and frame and structure in the pack comes from my sleep pad, my bear box, and the way I arrange things in there. So folks, I think that pretty much covers everything. In my pack, I showed you everything I had affixed to the outside. As you noticed, I changed the t-shirt. It's the next day. I was unable to finish the video yesterday, so I wanted to finish it today. And I'll sew it together. You guys will notice the shirt change in the end once you've seen it. But again, I think I threw a carabiner on here. I probably will not use this. It's a little overkill. But if I do need to have a bear bag or something like that, I want a locking carabiner just in case. Not sure. This will be a game day decision if I need to bring this or not. So again, thank you guys for watching my video. I leave tomorrow for Yosemite, and I will enjoy myself. And I hope you guys out there take something from this, learn some tips, and pass it forward. Have a great time. Happy trails to you all. Thanks again.